Hello, welcome to Back with a Bang again. My host, Charlie Walden. The host, Charlie Walden. My host, the host, Charlie Walden. And co-host, Joe McGlade. Joe, it's another podcast, mate. Another one. We're back again. How you doing?
Got to be back. Gotta bang them out.
Yeah, mate. Bang them out. Nothing else to do. Listen, we were sat all this morning doing college work. Then we've been out in the snow. And we've come back now to graft out the podcast. This is what you call true dedication, isn't it, Joe?
It is as it goes, yeah.
Mate, how good is it? We've got snow. We've got snow. It's been freaking. I've been out scrapping in the snow. I don't know about you, but I'm loving it.
I went out earlier, took some pictures, chased dog about and that, chucked snowballs up river. I went on field. Everyone was sledding. It were good, to be fair. I'm not too fussed about the snow, but I think because it's been so long, I've enjoyed it today. It's just been fun to go in.
It's come at like a perfect time as well, hasn't it? We know we can't do anything and stuff, and it's just a good time. You've got family members now. You can like me and brother went outside with a massive snowball fight, like spearing each other and like mate going after it. You know what I mean? But it's come at a good time, hasn't it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah. To be fair, I don't usually enjoy snow, but today I think it's just because it's been like crap, and it really crap years, and we haven't had snow. But like you've just said, since we've had nothing to do. It's been good to get out. People's been out, cars have been sliding all over the road. So everyone's been out.
I think, if it had come a couple of weeks ago before lockdown, I think not too many people would be bothered. Because we've been confined in the house and it's only out for an essentials sort of thing. Everyone's out in it. Do you know what I mean? So it's come at a good time.
Everyone were out and field like they were sliding down a hill. There were just people walking dogs, people going for a walk, and this were only like half an hour ago, so it was still pretty dark. But everyone were out. It was just good to see, just everyone talking and everyone out walking, dogs. It was just fun, just a fun atmosphere on field.
I think something I haven't done in years, build a snowman, and I'm convinced if it gets a little bit more, mate, I might do one. Do you know what I mean? Just have a go at it. I don't know if have you ever done a snowman before? I presume you have. But
I haven't built one since I was like 9. I think maybe in my back garden that was it. But like, might have to jump in it. Few snow angels on garden and that. See what that's about.
Yeah, I used to I'm similar to you. I did one when I was about 9, and it got destroyed, and so I was fucking heartbroken, mate. I was absolutely heartbroken. So I never did it again. Do you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, and some dickhead comes and destroys it. I mean, come on, show a bit of respect. You know what I mean? Nah, to be fair, when I see a snowman, it's like, boot that fucker off.
Yeah, you got to fear it and kick it, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, of course, mate, of course. If I had a sledge, I'd be sledging right now down the roads, mate. I'd be having a banging time. For sure.
That's what everyone's on field now, just across the road. That's all they're doing is sledging, but like our road's kind of slushy now. It's just kind of slushy. Everyone's on field sledding.
Oh, really? What, down your end?
Yeah, it's like right sludgy, so everyone's on field, like just snowing on that, thinking and that, because field's got like bare steep hills. So everyone's on him, and then obviously Norfolk's probably a bit busy as well.
Oh, sick. Well, that's pretty good. Like I say, hope everyone's enjoying the snow. I know I went out, I had to change my clothes and everything, so I was absolutely soaking in it. Caught a snowball right to the eye and a fall right to the eye. So a few wound injuries, but we move, as they say. Yeah, we've got a few topics to discuss today. We did a lot of planning for this one. This could be another hour one, I'm guessing. So we'll start the early one off then. So today, a couple of days ago, Boris Johnson came out and said that lockdown restrictions could be tightened. So I looked the story up to see how they could be tightened. The first one is, Joe, curfews. Now, I don't see a curfew being too early. Like we had a curfew for bars, don't we, of 10 p.m. But I would say about 9 or 10 p.m. again, curfew. What do you think of that?
I think in Belfast, I got told that they had a curfew at 8 p.m. So everyone had to be in at 8 p.m. And I feel like, I know a lot of conspiracy theorists are going to say like this is the government trying to control us even more than what they are now with the masks, everything. Like, come on, a curfew, that's like some Black Mirror stuff that like, you don't know what's going to be next. Like, this is pretty interesting. I think it's going to have a lot of people a bit angry, I'd say.
Yeah, but they don't help the case when people do say like you are trying to control us. Like, I don't know what a curfew is going to do really. Like, who's going out anyway at 8 or 9 o'clock? I think it's a pointless idea for me because at the minute pubs are shut, restaurants are shut,
shops are,
Maccadees are shut, shops are shut, everything's shut, and no one's going out anyway because everyone's getting fined now. So I just think that's a pointless rule.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. Like you've just said, no shops are out or open. So I wonder what he's thinking is with this. Like, if no, I know for a fact that there's not many people around my area going out or out anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Playing football or out. Like, no one's really out. Like, no one's really mixing. So I don't know what's happening here. To be
What
honest,
I think it is I think he has these ideas of starting the lockdown with, obviously we've got curfews, nurseries being shut, sport bubbles. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I think he has these ideas and he sends them out to the media and he gives them to the media. And obviously, we've always found out this in lesson before that some parts of the media are either Labour or Conservative. I'm not sure which left or right. I'm a bit stupid in that. So, which one is it? Which one's left and which one's right?
Right's Conservatives. Right's Conservatives and left's Labour. I
So
always remember because of that Boris Johnson.
Yeah, that's the one because when everyone say it, I don't know what that means, but yeah. So obviously, there's some papers to the right, some papers to the left, and I think he gives them the stuff that he wants to get out and see what the reaction is first to the right. Because let's be honest, he ain't a strict prime minister. He listens to the people too much. That's his issue. Like, everyone's come out and said it. Like, he doesn't. He's a people pleaser, and that's his problem. He's a majority people pleaser, and that's what my issue with him as well. Is he needs to make his mind up, sort of thing. And I think this is what he's doing. He's testing it out with these different papers and seeing what the reaction is. And I don't think he will go ahead with the curfew. But whereas I think what we're going to come to now is support bubbles. They're still happening. So you can obviously meet from another house with another house, as long as they're in your support bubble. A single adult household or a couple with a child can meet with another household of any size. And I do think they will cut that off because in the first lockdown, they cut that off, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. You couldn't meet with anyone, could you? Like, it was literally just lockdown, like, no meeting with anyone. And then obviously, I think in July or something, they started at least saying you can go outside, meet with 6 people, that sort of stuff. But, like, I don't get why restrictions aren't tightened now when this is the worst cases we've had, even before it peaked back in last March. I don't get why they aren't stronger now. They need to be stronger now. They should have been stronger earlier. Maybe it wouldn't have got out of hand like this.
No, I obviously have different opinions. I don't want to go on a massive rant on a COVID-19 and get this massive spark went off because I'm just not in the mood for going into COVID-19 today. It's one of them things. But I do agree with you on that sense that if he was going to do it, he should have done it earlier. He should have waited until all Christmas, put us all locked down in the Christmas and the New Year. And the worst time to put people in the New Year, put people in lockdown, is in the New Year after Christmas. For people, I've had that good time. Now you're put in that depression mode again of, we got a lockdown again. If he's going to do it, he should have done it earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as soon as it started spiking in September, he should have gone, do you know what, October, we're going on lockdown, we're going to try and get rid of it again. But no, he decided to leave shops open, he left schools, colleges, all that open. And it's just, look what's happened. I think it's been proven that it's gone.
I feel for I think the professional athletes can train. So in any professional sense, athletes can train, but I feel for the amateurs because I tell you what, something now, we're just going to go on a tangent a little bit. In Chesterfield, I know you might know a few in your area, but there's a few boxers. I train at MMA Jimmy Center and I train with a lot of fighters there. So that's Bert Jenkins, Luke Walters, Conrad Walters, Ben Kelly, the likes of them, and obviously Teddy Stringer, a different gym, but they all treat this like pros. Like I can tell you, when I go to they are at the gym twice a day, every day. And they're serious. They're dieting. They keep Weight Watch. They're basically professionals, but they have an amateur career first, obviously, because that's the way to go. So they're basically professional anyway, the way they live, and they're not allowed to train. Now I feel that's wrong. There should be some sort of thing just to let them train because they are elite athletes as well. I think their career's been halted.
They just need that big opportunity to take it to the next step, don't they? Really, like they just need that one big step ahead. But like, I feel like if they just stick with the bubbles, they do what they can, then it should be allowed for any athlete, no matter what.
People training. There should be training bubbles for these athletes. They should have a certain amount of training partners with the coaches they can train.
100%, yeah. Because if, like you said, proper boxing's still going on, so why can't like amateurs go at it? Like if they just follow restrictions, that should surely be allowed.
Like I know I shouldn't be allowed to train. I'm not a fighter, but this is holding me. This is holding me as well because I wanted to fight this year. Yeah. And this is holding. I can't train now. I've probably for 2 months now. I can't train, and this is going to be the same. Exactly. This is going to be. Well, it's definitely going to be pushed back. Like I don't plan I'm going to fight this year now with 2 months off training. Like we'll see how I am. But these other fighters, like of top level, who are working out, they have to take 2 months off training. 2 months. And when I know everyone's doing the same
Yeah.
thing, when you're trying to catch up and you're trying to get to that certain level, hey, 2 months makes a week makes a
Yeah.
massive difference. Like when I'm gone for a week, you know about it, let alone 2 months.
That's a loss. That they're just gonna have to try and do what they can, aren't they? In lockdown, like they're just gonna have to keep going at it, keep the grind.
And here's the next thing that annoys me about that as well.
Yeah.
1 hour exercise a week limit being brought into play apparently in a couple
That's
of
a
weeks.
week.
1 hour exercise a day, sorry, being brought into play. Now I think that's a load of shit.
Yeah, no one really listened to that in first one, did they? Well, people didn't go out, but loads of people were out on bike rides, and I seen it. Like when I went to Rotherham and that, there were just people on the bike track and everything. Like, it's just, I don't get it.
Again, that's not listening to professional. That's not listening to the athletes, because the athletes, but they need to get the conditioning. They need to be on them runs, biking, out doing work.
Yeah.
If they're like 1 exercise per day, 1 hour exercise, what does that say to them?
They get fined.
There's been a lot of targeting on gyms and combat sport gyms, and I just feel it's wrong, because if you look at the stats, they're not really coming out of gyms. They're really coming out of schools, education systems.
Yeah, they are. It's literally come out of schools, hasn't it? Like gyms have been fine, shops have been fine. It's literally come out of schools and colleges and unis. Like that is the main source of where it spiked from. As soon as everyone went back, that spiked. We tried blaming it on the art thing, but that got proven it wasn't that. It was literally as soon as everyone went back to schools and that. And I'm not being funny. I don't get our schools and that couldn't do online lessons. Surely that could be adjusted so people could do online lessons in school. There's no way they could not do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know about you from personal experience, but I know you. Actually, I think I do know. Actually, you was quarantined, weren't you? Because your brother had been in contact.
Yeah,
like, my brother was off for 2 weeks because the whole 40 people in the school had it. This just shows, man.
Yeah. I think my brother went back for what 4 or 5 weeks, and over 100 and something kids in the entire school had to quarantine, and that was just a couple of weeks back. It's because after school they go in with different bubbles and everything, aren't they? So you can't even stop it. Yeah,
and it's just always contradicting. So like they're saying, like PE, they train together, they mix together, the contact and that. But you come off the PE pitch, she's got distance. I'm sorry, but you've just been mixing. Like, how does that work then? Like, if it's one rule, you've got to do one rule for everything. You can't keep going blurred lines of saying, yeah, well, you can mix in training, but yeah, you can social distance. I mean, that just wipes away social distance for me, because I don't believe in that social distance crap, because everyone's mixing with everyone really, and I don't think. And if you're wearing a mask, like they say these masks are so good, it should make a difference.
Well, like I've said before, apparently you didn't need to wear them at the start, did you? Because they wasn't good enough. But now you have to wear them, but they wasn't good enough at the start. So what changed? What changed that round?
Exactly. But I just feel like the combat sport gyms, there's been barely any spread coming out of these gyms. And like, I don't know a single person in my gym who's been ill for COVID-19.
And I know for a fact. I know my dad went to this gym and he was doing it in Norfolk Park, and like, why can't that carry on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously not when it's bad weather, but why can't that still go on? In Norfolk Park, you've got 2 meters distance. What's stopping them from training?
Yeah, they should say, like, if you're going to train, like, this would be a fair idea. We'll abide by your rules if you help us out. This is why MMA gyms don't want to listen to the government, and boxing gyms don't want to listen to the government, because there's no consideration for them. It says, yeah, you put up with it, and that's it. Leave it. You put up with it. Your livelihood doesn't matter to us. Okay, and I know lives are at stake, but there's a way to help everybody. Okay, and I don't think that they've made that effort with the combat sport where they have other hospitality, other departments. They haven't made that effort with the combat sport. Well, I don't believe there could be a way where you say, listen, if the weather's bad, you can't train. If the weather's bad, you can't train. But if you want to go in a park in the day and do some work, you can do that. If you're outside,
that should be allowed, 100%.
Even in lockdown, I mean it. Like when we go in the gym, we're temp checked. Like it's always safe. Like listen, it's all safe. Sanitizer. You put your temperature down. If your temperature's above a certain amount, you go out. And listen, nobody have a cold in the gym. No one's had COVID, and still the gyms are the first places to be targeted.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, like this. I know I've seen a lot of people on social media complain about gyms getting shut, because obviously people who own like these small gyms and that, like who do combat sport, they'll be losing money, won't they? Because government's not really supporting them, so it's got to be tough on them. All these big chain gyms are going to be all right, because don't forget as well, at the start of the new year, that's when gyms really start to get money in, because everyone wants to do it for the New Year's revolution, and that's. But this year they can't do that because of lockdown again.
Exactly, mate. And the thing is, everyone says to me, "Well, why don't you listen? Why don't you believe half of this? And why do you have different views?" And I get all this argument going back and forth with a lot of people. Well, here's why, and it's a prime example of why I don't trust the government. I don't trust this government at the minute. Matt Hancock's on GMB yesterday morning, like an absolute idiot. He's on there, and he's been asked about. And I don't know why he doesn't help it. He never helps himself. Like, he seems like he's a nice guy. Like, generally, he seems like he's a nice guy. But he's just not at the minute. He's just doing a poor job of it. Poor job at the minute in the press.
People complain about him.
Like, he seems like a nice guy. Like, if you look at him, he's got a good character. But not. Yeah. Now is not the time to be smiling on GMB when you're being asked about serious topics. Like, Piers Morgan's asking him, "Well, why did you vote against the school meals?" And he just gave him the same answer. "Well, I'm thrilled we got the school meals over the line." Well, he didn't get it over the line. He voted against it. And when he's asked about it, you can see he's being smug. He's laughing. I mean, like, I'm trying to watch some serious news. I'm trying to listen to the health secretary here. I'm trying to listen to the government health secretary, who we're all supposed to trust and not listen to.
Who owns the NHS? Well, runs the NHS and everything. It was like the top dog for that.
Exactly. And he's been asked a serious question, and he's there struggling not to laugh about it because he won't answer a question. Answer the question.
Yeah.
Answer the question. It wasn't an hard question. If he just stated his reasons why he believed that the school meal shouldn't have ever been a thing, then listen, fair enough. If it's bad or it's right, at least he told the truth.
Opinion, isn't it? Yeah. But
him not saying anything makes it even worse, in my opinion.
And laughing, like you said, that's bad. Like,
if he was serious, if he was being serious, and he was like really serious about it, and he was like, well, and he give that same answer. Listen, fair enough. He doesn't want to answer the question, but being smug about it is like he thought it was funny. The whole situation about the school meals, that's not funny. Like, like Piers Morgan, I'm glad he pulled him up on it because I'm not his biggest fan recently with some of the things, but he does pull people up on it. Like, I do like Piers Morgan, but recently I don't. There's been a few things that have annoyed me a little bit, but he does pull people up on it when they're not answering a question, and I'm glad he pulled him up on it. And it's a couple of times he's done it now.
He always pesters Piers Morgan. He'll always want to get the answer that he wants out of you.
But yeah, like, it just annoys when he goes on GMB because, like, we want to hear what he's got to say. Like, these supporters want to hear what he's got to say and want to have an update. And he's just there, like laughing, and I just don't get it, you know.
All politicians are like that, though, aren't they? They don't give you a straight-up answer. They always dance around the question. They'll never give you the answer you want. They always try and go around it. They never. If it's a good question, a good detailed question, they'll never answer it. Never.
Yeah, that's what they are known best for. It's the sad truth, I'm afraid, but I hope he does better next time because it's just getting difficult to watch his interviews at this point. You're gonna see he's struggling to hold a laugh in, and it's just annoying, really. But
yeah, it's all that.
We will move on to. So I've got a couple of topics here, which were actually listed in a post I put out yesterday on the Instagram for some topics to discuss. So lockdown 1.0 memories. I mean, I know it was a tough one for everybody, but it was a tough one for me. But I had actually a good time in lockdown 1.0.
I loved lockdown one. And not being able to see my like great granny or go over to my island and see my granny, like that were tough. But like lockdown one were amazing. Like I can't say it wasn't the sun. There were music. It was just you could go out bike riding, basketball. I loved it. If this year wasn't like so bad at the end, it'd be one of my favorite years. Oh, that's like might be weird, but for me, I loved lockdown one. It was just vibes, staying up till like 5 a.m, 5 when the sun's coming up. And you know a lot about that, Charlie. The birds chirping. I loved it. One experience.
The birds chirping, brilliant. Yeah, I mean, lockdown one was sick for me. Like, it started really weird. Like, I had this bird I went out with, and then that's what was I was in like lazy face for a while. I got stopping up to like 9 a.m. Waking up at like 7 p.m. It was just tragic, mate. And then a mate of mine was like, "Do you want to come out on bikes?" Mate, I never looked back from there. I did like 100 miles in a week.
And then we did bits on that. We went far on them bike rides, like Rother Valley. You came down here. They were bike rides then. And like I said, I think if you ask most people, they'll say they enjoyed lockdown one just for the sun. It was just vibes. Like, what a fantastic like start. Like
if you didn't bike in lockdown one, like my mates said it best. Like, what the hell were you doing? Because it was so good, mate. Like everyone was out. Like, I remember, like I just first started doing a few miles on my bike. I was like, I'll just do 10 miles to Rother Valley with my mates, and then it started. Oh, let's go Chatsworth 30 miles. Whew, mate, that killed me. That's the first time I've done like 30 miles on a bike, mate. It's just all in one go. We went to there, man. I had a good crack at Chatsworth Lake. To be fair, that was a good time. But coming
yeah.
back, mate, all these big fuck off hills, mate. I would die.
It is coming back. Going back is tough. When I went to Rother Valley, like obviously when we went around Manor and that, and then we went to Rother Valley and went like I forgot the area, but
Norfolk, Handsworth.
Yeah, Handsworth and that. We all went all through there, didn't we? And then coming back at the start, I was feeling it, but my body was just carrying me. But then when I got to Handsworth, I was done. I think I didn't even. I just rode down.
Oh, what was it? We got to we've been to Norfolk Park playing basketball and football all day, weren't we? And then we biked it down to that shop, didn't we? And I was like proper pestering you, kind of like, come to Rother Valley for a bit, come to Rother Valley for a bit. And I was like, I said to Keane, I was like, these two will be fucking hanging in a minute, watch. So we started biking, mate, and then you get time, you were kind of like, I can't go no more.
We're done.
I'm like, come on,
we're
you
done on the way, but
fuckers.
I don't think I pedaled. I literally don't think I pedaled. I think I just drove down the hill and pushed it back. I was knackered. I was done.
To be fair, mate, like it was same for me. Like it was always that point when I after I've been like on a long day, like, that was a 40 mile that day. That was a big one for me.
Yeah,
that hurt me, mate. But anyway, I was coming back. It was flat all the way back on Rother Valley, always flat. There's this always point I get to like when I've been doing a long bike ride where mate, I'm like fucking hanging. I'm dying. My body's shutting down. Like I've got all this music blasting, just trying to keep me going, mate. But I was dying that day. Trust me when I say like. After that, I couldn't walk for a couple of days.
I was going dizzy. I had to stop off at Asda and get a drink because I felt like I was going to pass out. I had to get some sugar or something because I had no drinks. And it went at like 28 degrees that day. Like, it was it were right. And I think I drank both bottles of water. So I got 2 bottles of Lucasade. Oh my God, that day it was fun. But on the way back, it was tough.
Do you know what's crazy? No, the next day, like, I couldn't walk for a couple of days. Like the day after that, after I finally recovered, I thought, fuck, I'm gonna start running. Why not? Why not start running? Worst idea, that, mate. Worst idea. I knocked my knees in before running. That's how it is. So that's why I quit playing football. But I decided to do a run. I thought, I'll do 3 miles, quick 3 miles. So I had the Strava on. No, obviously everyone used Strava, didn't they, lockdown? Yeah, I had Strava and I'm running away, and I thought, and I get to 3 miles, I thought, this is fucking easy, I'll keep going. And I just kept running. Next minute, mate, 4.5 miles, I'm like, shit. I got 4.5 miles, I'm like, fucking hell, I've got to go back now. So I'm running back, mate. I've done 9 miles, mate. I've not run for like years. I was being sick when I got home all over, mate. Sick all over, like.
Wow, I didn't know you were sick.
Yeah, mate, I felt so ill because you've never done it before. Like you got back, your legs are just jelly. Like everything's tight, everything, mate. A lot of people got really fit, didn't they? Lockdown. A lockdown one was positive experience for a lot of people.
That's what I mean. At the start of lockdown, but I started doing exercise and not about the bike rides. I used to go on runs and that. Like I used to do a few laps around my field, and I enjoyed it. Like it was a good experience, but then. I think after that, and then in September when we obviously had college and that, you don't have as much time, so it's like the weather ain't as good either. So like you don't go outside as much. Like like I said, this second lockdown, which was in November, like that one was just awful, and this one,
mate, that was terrible. To be honest, that was horrendous. Like I don't know what I did for that. I didn't remember what I did. Like
watched anime and basketball. I think that right.
Like lockdown one, mate. Like I remember everything I did. It was one of the best experiences of my life, man. I know that sounds terrible because a lot of people like struggled through it, but for me, like I made it count. I made that time count, and I didn't break any massive rules. Like obviously, you may have bumped into each other every now and then with social distancing, but we never got ill. No one ever got ill. None of my family members got ill.
No one came close in my family. Like literally, no one came close. Like
the thing is, as well, same. Yeah, carry on, mate.
Oh, sorry. I like this second one. My brother, like you said, he got in contact with someone. He was sat next to someone who had it, but like in the first one, no one went near it. Like, even though like sometimes we had like my nan round and my uncle round, but there were still 2 meters outside. No one caught it. Like even my neighbours and that, like no one caught it. It's weird how more people caught it around my area now than what they did when it was at its peak in the summer. But
that's the problem. I mean, when in March, a lot of people believed in it, and a lot of people was really like fearful of it, including myself. Like in March, like I would admit, I was terrified of the thing. I was like, I don't want to catch that. But now I sit in the house all the time. But I was terrified of the thing until a good like September. Like, I was like really still like I'm still thinking about it in the back of the head.
Yeah, because you don't. I know you've got like a what is it, like a 99% chance of surviving if you're young.
But when all these things start to come out and all these little things the government have lied about, that's when I
Yeah.
start to get doubts in my head, and that's what a lot of people have had. That's why, if it is, the cases are going up because people are getting doubts. Like including myself, I'm doubtful now of what anything they say, and I've done
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of research and other studies and other theories, like I told you. But
I
that's the
mean,
issue, I think.
at the start, like I was obviously believing it, but then I started believing like, wow, this is just negativity. Like it's just deaths all the time. And when I looked, like I know you've just said you did. When I looked into it, I was like, yo, you know what? This is interesting. Like the news is making it scared. There were bigger stuff going on at the time. You know what I mean? There were like I seen Anonymous and all that famous hacking group hacked Royal Family's files and everything. There were the Hollywood Jeff Epstein stuff, what didn't get played at all, even though there were actors who were there all the time. There were bigger stuff going on at the time, but the news didn't touch that a single bit. Like, and then like I think there is a massive conspiracy saying like I believe now that COVID was made in a lab. Like that's my opinion. It was definitely made in a lab. There was no way it's from a wet market.
Yeah, that's sort of similar theory to that, mate. I am similar. I think it's been produced on purpose. Right? I don't know how, but I think someone has produced this on purpose, and it's
You can't tell me
for a bigger
Charlie,
reason.
it's been what since the Spanish flu, like 1912. That was the last one from the wet markets. It's took another what decade, century for it to happen again. Which come on, man, that there's no way that's possible.
Yeah, there's no way, mate. And I don't believe as well that last year was the first time someone ever ate a bat.
Oh yeah, no way. Like I've seen videos of him eating everything. One where the in gardening something, and they just take a bird out and eat it, like a literal baby bird.
I mean, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if it did come from China because of the way they eat. A lot of them.
I do believe it came from China. I do believe they invented it, like, but I don't think it came from a wet market at all. There's no way for that.
Yeah, when I seen that idiot abroad when he went through China.
Yeah, that egg.
Disgusting, mate. Like,
a fetus. Sorry, it's not even an egg. It was a fetus.
Like, it's just put. I'd never go to China. Like, well, that's actually wrong with that. There is some nice areas in China.
It looks good, doesn't it? Like, it's just for me. I don't think I'd eat some of the food. Like, I'd eat obviously some, but I'd be careful what I eat. Like, but yeah, I'd go to China definitely. Like,
definitely. Moving on from that, we'll get rid of this negativity now. I just wanted to get that out of the way because we can't actually ignore that it's not there because obviously this shit is all still here and it is still going on in the world. Yeah. So it's important to talk about it at the start. An interesting point you brought up yesterday, Joe. Cinemas. Obviously, I think cinemas out a lot. Yeah. It's probably one of the safer places you can go if you're looking at statistics and stuff. But apparently, there's been a projected global box office loss of $5 billion. I mean,
it's guttering. Like I love cinema. I used to. Well, it feels years ago, but like last. I think last time I went was last December, and I think it was Star Wars. You know, like 2019. I think it was Star Wars. That's when it ran. Yeah, I think that's last time I went to cinema. But it feels so long ago. It was amazing. I love going to the cinema. You go get your Tango Ice Blast, your popcorn, nachos. Like everyone's there. Like it was amazing. And I thought at this, like in August. They could have opened cinemas back up. You've got masks on, but you've got 2 meters distance. I think cinemas were big enough to start letting some people back in, but they've kept them closed. And now cinemas are losing more money because I've heard more companies want to send them out to streaming sites now because they think they're going to get more money from it, which obviously I think most people would prefer if it got put on Netflix or Disney or Amazon. I think people would prefer that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think one of the issues is like they are safe. There's so many seats in the cinema, like it's unreal. They never get filled anyway, unless it's a big premiere and it's the first night. Like they never get filled anyway. When I go to cinema, I've never been to a full cinema really. I don't believe. That may have been when actually to be fair, when Force Awakens came out, that was full. Because we watched it on the premiere night. When that came out, that was full.
Oh wow!
Because it was like massive. It was massively fucking like expected, and everyone was really excited for it. But I think the problem is the prices, mate. They're too expensive.
Yeah.
Way too expensive.
The new world's like £11 for an adult, and plus, if you want to buy popcorn, that's like what $5
or $6 quid.
Yeah, Tango Ice Blast is like what £4.20 for a large one. Like I've known people say like cinemas a lot of money to, and it's an expensive day out when you think about it. Like, because obviously you might want to go for something to eat before. Like, it's an expensive day out.
That's
But I
interesting.
enjoy it.
That's the issue. I don't think they've thought about that when I think they just thought, oh, let's keep the prices, people will eventually come. But listen, people are struggling for money. People are being on furlough. They're losing 20% of their wages.
Yeah.
People have been sacked. They've lost their jobs. I don't even know if I've had a job. But listen, today, I was kicked out of my bloody work group as well as a lot of other people. So I don't know if I got my job anymore. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. So listen, like, that's the first I know you had a conversation with my boss. So I don't know what's going on. But
Gotta be tough for people.
exactly. So people can't afford to pay them sort of ridiculous prices. They should, like everyone else is, cut down the prices a little bit. Because otherwise...
They should have done the thing at cinema, I think. I think that would have made it, you know what I mean? Like, cut the half price on cinema. Like, surely that would have boosted it a bit. Because look how good that was.
Yeah, it was a nightmare to work in, I tell you. But it was good for myself when I'm actually going to a place to eat. I'll tell you that. But can they recover, Joe? Do you believe they can recover?
I can't. Not where companies are looking to spread them out to, like, I know Wonder Woman got put out onto HBO's account. Mulan, that costed £30 though on Disney Plus. Like, that's expensive for a film, you know what I mean? But I don't think they're going to recover, and it'll be tough because I did enjoy going to the cinema. But if this lockdown goes on for as long as the first one, I don't think they can recover at all. It's going to be tough. I know some in America shit already.
What about the idea of an outside cinema, a drive-in cinema? What do you think of that?
See, if they've got some places, Cineworld could definitely do that, because know what I mean, like that'd be a smart idea. Or they all could, to be fair. It'd be sick that.
Not down the buildings, mate. I know it sounds weird. Not down the buildings. I probably don't know. That's probably a bad idea. But find a spot you can find movies, and then find a spot where you can get a load of cars in. Mate, the cars are fine to be next to each other. Nothing's happening there. You know what I mean? If you're going to sell popcorn, sell it on the cheap, people can bring it to you in masks, gloves. I mean, that's a good idea. That happens in America. That can happen, mate. What do you think of that? Like, I think that's a good idea.
That's a fantastic idea. I didn't think of that. I know, like, America's done it, but yeah, I'd go to the cinema for that. It'd be amazing.
And it's open during lockdown as well. Like, you can only see one film. You've got to have all your information tracked, so you make sure you're not been more than once. You can see one film a week, and it's cheap. You come in and watch a film.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get snacks, there's an app on your phone. You can put the app in. You put your registration in, and people look for your registration and bring your things. And with masks on, gloves on.
Yeah. Visor, that'd be a great idea. I'd go for that, definitely.
There's ways they can get around it. That's the thing. People don't think broad enough now. People just want to accept defeat instead of let's look ways around it.
This is what I mean. The government can ease, like, going back to the gym, like, they could go outside and that, you know what I mean? Like, there's ways around, and what you're still keeping the restrictions. That's it. You're still keeping them. You can work around it, but you still have the restrictions. Like you've just said, there's no way that couldn't have been possible. But I think now that might not happen, because cinemas are like looking like they're going down. But it'd have been a good idea.
There's definitely ways, there's definitely ways you can work around it. And like the UFC have been a pivotal thing for that, where they've shown a way that you can find a way to put fights on. Same with the NBA with the bubble. There's a way to put things on safely if you find a way around it. And moving on to that now, as I've just said it, NBA. Joe's got some big news. What's going on in the NBA world, Joey?
It popped off last night. I couldn't believe it. This rumor's been circulating for a while that James Harden from the Houston Rockets wanted he wanted to be with his friend Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. And last night, a massive trade happened. Harden actually went to Brooklyn. It's all kicked off in Brooklyn. Kyrie's nowhere to be seen. He might be getting fined $400,000 a game, every game he misses from this week if he's broke restrictions, which is it's a lot of money. And then Houston's like got a good team still, so like it's not. I don't think it's been a win-lose for either team. It's just been massive news on that. Everyone thinks LeBron's had to go through Steph Curry and all them, the Golden, but now he's going to go through Brooklyn. I think it's either win or bust for them. They've got hype around him already, but now they've got Harden. This hype's going to be mad. It's going to be. I want to see Lakers vs Brooklyn in the finals. That'd be insane.
It's an interesting one now because obviously that Kyrie Irving's there. Obviously a big player. He's on 33 million he's on this year, I think. It's just a lamb, which is fucking crazy to me. And he's been there 18 months now. He's played 27 games. And
he's nearly missed as many games as he's played.
Now that's not good enough. You're earning money, and this is what he was brought. he wanted what's his name to come in, Kevin Durant to come to Brooklyn.
Durant,
He
yeah.
wanted him to come to Brooklyn, and now he's playing this game. Well, I'm not going to show up, so I'm doing my own thing. I don't agree with. I'm not going to show up. I'm on 33 million. I'm not going to show up. The problem is he's not a character enough. He's not putting basketball first. And we'll talk about the James Harden deal. This is how this James Harden deal's come about, in my opinion. I don't believe this would have happened if Kyrie Irving's playing every week whatever. Did they play every week or is it every few days? I'm not sure how it works, but
every few days,
every few days. So this wouldn't happen, in my opinion, if Kyrie Irving's playing every week with Kevin Durant. But the problem is he's not showing up, and in my opinion, with this one, they've got to out him. He's on 33 million a year, which is absolutely insane. Like. That can't be fine.
At a party without masks on. This is why everyone's furious because obviously Brooklyn wouldn't have Durant if Kyrie wasn't there, and Harden wouldn't want to go to Brooklyn if Durant wasn't there. Like Durant owns that franchise for the time being, but Kyrie's we're meant to be sidekick, but all of a sudden he just says I don't want to play. All of a sudden his personal reasons, but. I know in pre-season he was going around stadiums with Sage, burning the negative energy. He's a bit loopy, but I mean NBA looking into it, they're going to gain, like I said, 400,000 every game he misses. I think if he has broke the restrictions, which is a lot of money, instead to play every few days because he's not on social media. Well, he is, but he's not talking to anyone.
And the issue is that there's a massive difference between him and the players like Kevin Durant, where Kevin Durant's that sort of player that he can have a broken foot on it. I think he would still try and play. He's one of them players where he loves the game of basketball. He prioritizes the game of basketball, and if he's able to play, if there's anything going on in his life, he'll still play. He's one of them. He's coming
off his Achilles. Exactly. He had the year off for his Achilles, and I think I saw a stat only 2 basketball players out of 18 actually came back to their full potential. Which is obviously everyone will worry is Durant going to come back? And he's still putting up 30 points a game. He's proven that he's still a top, if one of the best players in the league, if not the best.
I think he probably should stop asking about his injury now. To be honest, with people are always asking about it. He's over it. He wants to move on clearly. And now with this I think this Kyrie, everything's probably took a bit of spotlight off it. But the thing is, with Kevin Durant there's a difference between him and Kyrie Irving, where Kyrie Irving. He's meant to be learning off Kevin Durant. He's meant to be a role model of his, a friend of his, and he's not following suit of a player like Kevin Durant who turns up every week, every game, no matter what. He turns up and he plays the game of basketball. He may play bad one game, but he's there. Yeah. Fans appreciate it more. He may play shit. If you're playing shit and you're still there, you're there. You don't appreciate it. They don't show up. That's the issue. I'm not trying to slight Kyrie Irving here, but I don't know what's going on. But he's on 33 million a year. 33 million, and he's being paid by the Brooklyn to do a job. He needs to do his job. And
his excuse is to say personal reasons. He hasn't even gave him a reason. He's literally just said personal, which is wrong. I think Brooklyn needs to out him. Come on, you can't just expect a player to say, "Oh, I don't want to play." It'd be I don't know, Mbappe turning up to PSG says, "I don't want to play because it's personal reasons." Or Neymar. I've heard Kyrie can be kind of a cancer in the locker room. Teams play better without him playing. You know what I mean? When you were at Boston, they played better without him. At Brooklyn, they played better without him. So maybe it's just his personality, but what's gone on is pretty bad. It's pretty wrong.
The problem is when you are earning that much money, the hunger does go for some players, and that's the issue. He's been given a 4-year deal where he's going to earn hundreds and hundreds of millions. And that's the issue where if I'm with him, I'm going to be a dickhead as well. I'm probably not going to show up for 133 million. I'm set. The NBA's not going to find him 400,000 for the rest of his career. That's not going to happen. They eventually will just get in, and he probably will lose a couple of million, 3 or 4 million. But when you're earning hundreds of million, mate, it doesn't make a difference. 3 or 4 million.
I think that's over time though, Charlie. So Brooklyn could, if they want to, cancel his contract if he's broke contract rules. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you are right there. Yeah, you are right there.
If they think he's not going to be reliable, he's just going to keep doing this because, again, last season he didn't want to be in the bubble. So if he keeps doing this, they'll probably know what, we've got Harden, we've got Durant, we'll trade you or get rid of your contract.
I'm surprised he hasn't been traded already. I think that was a lot of people were calling for Stephen A. Smith being one of them.
Yeah, they were.
He probably should be
traded.
Harden.
Yeah, for him and Harden. there were meant to be talks of them two traded, but
It would have gone smoother as well if they'd have done that. I think
Probably
it's one of them players where they know there's potential and they know that he's not a dick inside. At the minute, he's just being a bit of a dick, and we don't know what's going on. This whole thing, like he's not being a dick. He's acting like a dick. He's not a dick really, but he's acting like a dick.
He's meant to be a nice guy. Yeah, like
he's a nice guy. I've seen some videos of him. He's a nice guy, but
yeah,
at the minute he's acting like a dick, and that's what his fans don't. But he should be thinking of the fans. Like his role model. Like I seen this yesterday that Stephen A said it. It's terrible that he brought it up. It's not terrible. It's a good point, but it's had to bring up. His role model is Kobe Bryant. Now Kobe Bryant, one of them players, turned up no matter what. And I'm not a basketball fan, but I know Kobe Bryant was one of them guys, a savage on the court.
His mentality is one of the best in
Mamba mentality, as they say.
All history, yeah. Like his mentality was elite, and like what you've just said, if Kobe was seeing this, I don't think he'd be happy at all. Like there were a clip where he wasn't playing, he were injured, and his team was celebrating after having a win over like 8 games, and he were furious. He were gobsmacked that his team was celebrating over a win because they lost 8 games in a row and they won one. Like he were furious.
A proper mentality, that person that showed up with game in, game out, and the same as Kevin Durant, a game in, game out, a trooper of the basketball business. And that's what, if I'm a player like him, that's my inspiration. I'm looking up to Kobe's. Like I want to do Kobe Pride. I want to do them sort of players. I want to follow in the footsteps of them. I don't want to leave a tarnished legacy that I'll regret for years, because he's going to regret this Kyrie Irving if he carries on this path of no one knows where he is and stuff. Because when he's been playing, he doesn't look at the same Kyrie Irving anyway. That's the issue. When he plays, he's not doing the job. And the Brooklyn are being very good with him. They're being very good with him because.
You know what I mean? His mind, like at the moment, I don't think he's in the right mind space. Like I don't know. I seen a comment saying someone said he should retire when he's 29, and it's 2 months from his 29th birthday. He's gone off the grid, so everyone's like, he should just retire.
Yeah, I seen calls for that yesterday actually from Stephen A. Smith saying this man should retire. He's not going to play. I do everyone at Brooklyn a favor and stop wasting their money and time, because he could have been. I think Brooklyn do want to keep him. Like they really do want to keep that character, because they know there's something there. Like the coaches know there's something in Kyrie Irving, that he's a good player, and that's the issue everyone's having. That they want to see Kyrie Irving, the Kyrie Irving back. He's a good player.
They want the big three. They want Durant, Harden, and Kyrie all to show up, get the job done, win Brooklyn championship, slay LeBron. That's it. That's all they want.
Is that I wouldn't be so sure that this James Harden deal happens if Kyrie Irving's here. Like I say, bang every week.
Yeah, that's what Stephen A. Smith in it said. I think that's what Stephen A. Smith said.
But now you've got James Harden and Kevin Durant, 2 absolute powerhouses, and now you are going to see a real strong lineup coming. A real strong force. Like, just them 2 alone, like, even without Kyrie. Now Kyrie is not needed. But that doesn't mean they're going to forget about what he owes them money now. He's not showing up to games. Definitely. He's played 27 games in 18 months. Granted, the NBA took a period off, but a lot of players have played a lot more time than that, and he's been here a lot longer. He's been here for 18 months. It ain't good enough for a basketball player earning the amount of money he is. It ain't good enough for a fight.
Just think them in the bubble. Like LeBron finished his season in October and he started it again in December. What's that? Like a month and a half off. And he's 36. He's still going out, doing it every game. Like that's his mentality. Like apparently everyone like, oh, LeBron's going to take games off. That didn't come from him. Like he didn't take games off. He still wants to win. He wants to prove that he's still got it, which he has. Like you know what I mean? Like,
but I think we both agree on this Kyrie Irving situation. He probably should be outed by what's going on. The club should definitely say what is really going on. They can't reach him. Because I've seen an interview with the coach. I've seen an interview with the coach, and he was asked about it, and you could just see he's like, he knows that something's there, but he's acting, and he's just saying like, well, we've not heard too much. Like we don't know. He's going through something at the minute, but obviously we'll let you know when we go further.
Like, surely you can't just miss games because of personal reasons, or not give the personal. Apparently, it's because of the attack what happened down Washington. That was a personal reason. But obviously, everyone thinks that's bullshit now because he's been at parties and that. So
yeah, well, it's frustrating, and that's really frustrating to see when you earn that much money and a club's put a faith in you, and the fans have put faith in you. The Kevin Durant's put a faith in you. The man, Kevin Durant, has put faith in you, and you're letting him down. Like that's the man right there, and he's being let down.
A UFC fighter, isn't it? Like he'd just be saying, you know, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. Like, it's just like that. Like, you can't pick or choose when you want to fight, or, you know what I mean? If you give him money, you should go out and do it no matter what.
Yeah, show up. That's what Conor McGregor's philosophy is. Show up. Doesn't matter win or lose. Show up. If it's massive shit, it's gonna kill you, then don't show up. Just show up. That's the thing. Just you're being paid to show up. And as we move on to that, you mentioned it a minute ago, the Capitol White House. I think we both agree on that situation. He should be out, shouldn't he?
Yeah, 100%. Like, if that were anyone else, they'd be put in prison. Like, I know he didn't exactly say it, but he basically let him put fuel to the fire and said, you know what, he had a watch party, you know. Him and his family were sat watching it on the TV, the entire thing happening. Like, yeah, they're all stood there. Watching. His son were recording it like that, one phone, looking at it. We just sat watching it. I was like, America, like, I didn't realize that bad. That country is behind.
Jesus.
Like, that country is so far behind for everything, and I mean everything. Quality, racism, everything. It's so behind. I think last year has proved how far behind America is and how divided that country is compared to others.
Jesus, watch party. That is ridiculous. That whole Capitol thing, which we're gonna get into in a second, is just crazy. And it was a shameful time for America. A lot of people agree that it was a shameful, embarrassing time for America, and a lot of people were really embarrassed and sad that what their country had become. And you watch party in that, and for people to entertain, I don't think that's quite good. It's just, again, I can't believe he did that. It's like, baffles me.
Diabolical. It sums Donald Trump up, didn't it? Like, he wasn't a good president at all. He was just, I don't even know what to say.
I mean, I have disagreements on that, on the Donald Trump one. On the Donald Trump one, I have disagreements.
Yeah,
I
know you're not. I know you like him, but for me, he was just.
I mean, light is a little bit strong. I would say, to be fair, he is a little bit of a. Can I put it gently? And he's a bittersweet sort of character. But that was a good discussion on NBA. There'll be more discussion on NBA, I'm sure, as this development comes out with Kyrie Irving. So I'll have more to talk about in the coming weeks. But that'll be it for now. But the Capitol attacks, it's crazy. That was Donald Trump got a lot of blame for that, inciting violence. And I looked at the message, and I have to say, I disagree. I disagree that he incited a lot of that.
I feel like he just added fuel to the fire because he did a video, didn't it? And apparently we're meant to be apologizing, but he didn't actually apologize. He was just kind of like infusing it. He made it worse by trying to apologize.
But he said, like, go home in peace. That's what I don't get why people are giving this in, because he said go home in peace. Like, I don't get why he's getting attacked a lot of it. Let me know if I'm missing something here, because I don't know if I'm missing something. I might have done the correct research. Like, I might be missing something here. But what I seen is, when I read the message, I seen that go in peace. Like, if he's saying some sort of language that I don't understand, like, he's obviously, like, he could be generally speaking some sort of
Donald
words.
Trump's a very sarcastic man, innit?
I might not understand his sarcasm. There's a few things he's done as president that I've thought, you know what, that's a stupid idea. That's silly. And then there are other few things he's done where I thought, you know what, he's not that bad. Like, give him a bit of slack. Like, what you have to think of is, and then this is going to sound crazy when I say this, but this hasn't happened. But has there been a world war in America since Trump's been in charge?
I don't know. I just know he shot down that. What did he shoot down, that drone, or did he blow up a
has there been a war in America?
No. Oh, in America?
While Trump's been in charge, has there been a war between America and another country?
No.
Exactly. And he's the only president for years and years that his country has not been involved in a war. And a lot of people overlook that, but that's true, man. And I think because of the way he goes about things, people think, you know what, he's a tosser. Like, we don't like him because of the way he goes about things. But I think that's what a lot of people think. Like, he's a tosser. Don't listen to him. He's an idiot. Like, that's what people go to people's heads. If you have a look at his tough approach, may have actually worked on some of these countries, like when he's threatening nuclear war. Like, there's no way he's ever going to do that because people think he's a bit lunatic. People think he's a bit of a lunatic, and if they think, you know, he might do that, that's just. Other countries are like, that Donald Trump's notch.
I don't think he'd ever like send a nuke off. But
he never do that.
Last year, at the start of last year, there were talks of world war going on with him, and we America obviously at the center as usual, like going on. I think we're against now. We're against
Russia. I think it was not Russia.
I thought it was
Korea or something like that.
but like again, like imagine a world war, a nuclear war, like that'd have well ended us.
But with the whole nuclear war thing, I think a lot of these other presidents, some of these other, or if they're called like prime ministers, I don't know. I'm not too sure every other country, but I know some people, some countries have presidents, some people have part, your kings and all that. I'm a bit like raw on all the highnesses and stuff from different countries, but yeah, I think a lot of them think that Donald Trump's a bit nuts. So when he threats like nuclear wars and stuff to resolve issues and things that he teases, I think they actually think, you know what, he might actually do this. Like I actually believe I'm not risking it with this kid. So that they threaten back, and then it becomes, oh crap, we're in a world war. There's going to be a world war here. But in reality, all they're doing is they're threatening each other to try and resolve it. I believe, and that's what I think Donald Trump. He threatened that whole nuclear war to try and resolve a problem, and it worked because it all went away. Like you never heard anything after it, and that's why his tough approach of being absolute, and it actually works in his favor sometimes. Like he's not a people pleaser. That's what you got to understand. He's not a people pleaser. He's just the best, I feel, for what he believes in that country. Obviously, he's got his own views of what he believes in that country, different to many people, not a lot. Many people disagree with him, but I feel like he's got a different approach to things, and the way he goes about this being dumb and really just not knowing what he's on about, like the whole disinfectant into the arm thing was pretty funny. Like, but I think that it was sarcasm again. He's doing it for a reaction. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. Like he's making people think like he's dumb, but he's a wealthy businessman.
Yeah, he's a billionaire, isn't he? He's a billionaire.
He ain't fake. Like he's got a plan, and this was his plan, and he's and with the whole
just because you're a billionaire don't mean you can run a country. We're talking about America. Everyone knows America. At least like I don't. That's different, isn't it, from a business? I think he tried to run it like a business, and obviously you're talking about a country. Yeah, like a country, like it's totally different. You've got so much to do. You're always going to be criticized no matter what. But like, I think he made it worse getting from the choices he made.
I mean, he's had some up and downs for sure. Like, I won't disagree with that. He's had some up and downs. Like he's one of them where America won't look back on him fondly, but a lot of people as well. He's not. I don't feel like he's the worst. I feel like he's not been too. He's been. Like I said, he's been up and down, but I don't feel like he's been the worst.
Most Americans say he's the worst president.
He's done a few things I was impressed, but I actually liked. But people would probably think I'm an idiot or bizarre for saying this, but not working the WHO. Like Bill Gates, there's a bit of controversy around him. I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of controversy around Bill Gates and Epstein's Island. There's a lot of controversy around it.
I've seen something about Bill Gates about a coronavirus, a chip. This was on Twitter a couple of weeks ago about a chip from Microsoft to help cure something. I can't exactly remember. It was something, and everyone were going mad, saying, "Why would I want to chip him so it can track me, it could control me?" Everyone were going mad, and that was from Bill Gates. And like you said, the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
I'm not going to say he's a paedophile because there's no proof of that. Like, there's allegations around his name, and a lot of people don't trust him. I don't know if I would trust him or not with anything. But he didn't work with the WHO, and he had reasons for why he didn't work with them. And you know what? It may bite him back in the ass, but he had his own opinions on it.
That was a poor choice from him. Saying it wasn't real. He's told everyone not to wear masks. Look at America now. I know it's a bigger country, but look at it.
You got the highest rate of deaths.
In a mess. America's in a mess right now.
I think
Biden a lot of work.
I don't want to say too much because I've got different views, and they are some of them extreme views and stuff. I don't come out on a podcast and sound like an absolute lunatic, so I'm not going to say because I just know I'll get a lot of stick for it. So I think there's more to it than a lot of people think. And I think he thinks that. I think the mask things are a bit silly to come out and say that. He shouldn't have said that. Like, as much as masks, I don't think are a good idea. I don't think they do massive impact. Like, I don't think they have a massive impact.
Gathering. I agree that at least don't do 2 meters, but at least masks on. And he would chuck in masks saying don't wear them. He told supporters to take them off if they had them on. So that proves even his supporters were a bit scared of the virus, even though they support Donald Trump. Yeah,
I mean, the mask thing, and although it's been proven that they're not as impactful as said, he should still be putting that public image out of, just wear them, because it's going to cause massive thing. And he shouldn't have had mass gatherings anyway in a protest when there's something going on. Like, I think he had like fans at protests, which is a little bit silly, let's be honest. Yeah. Very silly.
And Biden didn't have any. Well, I think he only had a couple, but they had 2 meters distance and they all had masks on. Like Biden was smart. He knew what he was doing to get people on his side, like the masks, the virus, to get in contact with the World Health Organization again. Like he he had everything what everyone was looking for, while Trump was doing the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like I say, it's a very tough one. But it's one of the things where he won't be remembered fondly. But you know what? He had a go at it. He had a crack at it. I don't think he did a massive amount of damage, to be honest with you. This civil war at the end is a bit iffy. Do you know what I mean? That's not great. That people going in the White House and actually taking letters out and walking out of them and stuff, and getting out alive and not hurt and stuff. That's crazy to me.
Letting them in, and the police letting the protesters in.
Like, that's dangerous. Like, what if they was like extreme terrorists? Bombs
on fire
and
yeah, so and police literally open the gates and let them in. They were walking around with them. Like that's not good. Obviously, we had like
what message is that sent to terrorists though?
Exactly, like we had the Black Lives Matter thing, and we saw clips of police tear gassing, pointing guns at people who were just laying down on the ground, peaceful protesting. And then you see clips of the police letting Donald Trump supporters walk into the government, like literally the government, and do what they want.
Yeah, exactly. I see that video, and everyone was saying, "Oh, the police won't let them in." But there's a video clearly of the police opening the gate and they're standing to the side and going, "You know what? Go on. Let's encourage you. Go on. Just go on. Go pay it to the."
Yeah, opened it. That's the one I've seen. I've
Crazy.
seen it, but that one where literally opens it. It was crazy.
Did you see that one of that guy that got in the White House and then got a letter from this woman's office and then took it out and then took a picture of it of him holding it on the street? He got out there okay.
Nah, that's just. Don't forget,
could have been anything.
They were selling the thing, what they read off on eBay.
It's bad. It is terrible. I feel for America.
America is in a bad state right now. Literally, a very bad state.
There's a lot of things we put right, but we'll move on from that. It's a tough one, America. There's so much I could say. I don't want to say on a podcast be caught saying it because it's bizarre. But I've done my research. That's all I say. I've done my research. I've done theories. I've got studies to back me up. But there's other people that think it as well. But I just think if me come out and say it would sound like a bit of a lunatic. So I don't want to come and say it. Like if people think, oh, he's just nuts. Like he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's immature. So
you've got to pick your opinions carefully, and
exactly. And when you're on record, you've got to pick what you're saying carefully, opinions wise. So I won't come out and say, but it's not massively controversial. It's just people think I'm a bit bizarre and just an idiot, really. So
opinion, innit?
I'll just leave
it at that. It's not theirs. You don't like it.
Definitely. But we'll move on to that now because there's been a lot of news coming out of Star Wars, Joe. A big announcement recently. Before I get into that, actually, we've got some fun matchups. What we've talked about before the podcast. I wanted to just run by, and I'll debate why I think someone would win, and then you can debate why you think they'll win. And we'll do a little fun little card for each. Yeah. So first of all, Dooku versus Darth Maul. Count Dooku versus Darth Maul. I'll tell you who I think will win first. Darth Maul. He took out Qui-Gon Jinn, his student. Took him out with ease, I believe. Double lightsaber. He's been trained by the Emperor. So much power. He survived that fall from Obi-Wan, as we know from the Clone Wars. He survived the fall. He took on two members at once. Dooku did as well, to be fair, but I believe he's got more power and he's been training with Emperor for longer.
I agree with everything you said. I can't Count Dooku is strong, but Darth Maul, he's just better. He's got better force control, and he's just better. He's like you said, he survived the fall. Count Dooku obviously died, but I agree, Darth Maul would win 100%.
Definitely. Obi-Wan versus Kylo Ren. I'll let you make your case first.
That is a tough one. Obi-Wan, because he's had more experience, he's a better Jedi, he's got trained more. Like, Kylo Ren didn't really have anyone to train him. Like, yeah, I know he had Luke, but then Luke left him. And we don't even know, what was that guy called? The bad guy from Force Awakens.
Snoke,
that's it. We don't even really... He was meant to be this big bad guy, and we don't know how strong he is. Like, did he train Kylo Ren? But Obi-Wan, so iconic. Qui-Gon Jinn were a great master. Yeah, his master. He's fought Darth Maul. He's fought Darth Vader. He's a Obi-Wan for me to win, just for the experience and how good he was as a Jedi and his force. He had such a strong force.
Definitely, I agree that he never actually lost a lightsaber battle. He give it to Darth Vader. He give that one to Darth Vader. Darth Vader killed him. We give him that one.
He was old though.
Was old as well. I mean, he could say he lost to Dooku. He got destroyed in the second one. He just got through under the thing. He sort of lost to Dooku a little bit, but I was going to say Ren, but I thought, you made that little comment about he's got more experience and He's never really lost a battle, has he? Never been killed in
Nah.
in dueling. So one of the greatest Jedi's of all time, in my opinion.
100%. My top. It's either him or Luke Skywalker was my favorite. 100%.
To find out Luke, I like Kylo Ren and Obi-Wan for me. They're my two. That's my two favorites going at it there. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, it's the next one. Rey versus Mace Windu. Make your case, Joe. So Rey Palpatine, obviously.
I think Mace Windu, like, we don't really get to see his powers. I know that he wanted a purple lightsaber, so they made him one. But there's actually a backstory saying like the purple lightsabers because you can use dark and light force, so you can heal or you could use lightning. I think Mace Windu's more powerful. He ran the Council Awareness, so he's obviously pretty powerful. Rey's strong, as we've seen. She didn't really have any training, but I think that was just plot. Like, she didn't train a lot, but she was still proper OP. But I think that was the plot mainly. The films obviously weren't great made, but I'd have liked to have seen more of Rey. But I think Mace Windu's got to take this one for me.
I disagree. I think Rey's got the main character power, the protagonist power in the films. She's obviously, and she dueled with Kylo Ren without any training at all.
That was poor, that though. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, but that's how the film works, isn't it? But and she had this massive sense in the Force, that she was sensing the Force very early on. She had all this Force power, and apparently she had twice the Force Luke had, and
you see,
Luke took out Vader.
If she trained, she'd definitely win 100%. But if right now, like, I don't think she'd have won. Like, no way. Like, Mace Windu. We need to see more of Windu, though. We need to be fair. We only saw him against Sidious Reaper.
I think he'll be alive. I think they do a spin-off at some point.
I think they said he was. I think there's rumors that he was alive. So maybe, hopefully.
Never seen him die. Next one: Mace Windu versus Darth Vader.
Darth Vader. If we're talking Anakin, like, are we talking Darth Vader or Anakin just before Return?
Old Darth Vader. And so the New Hope Darth Vader.
Darth Vader off Star Wars Rogue One. Darth Vader's taking that all day.
Darth Vader of Rogue One. There. Actually, no, I'll say New Hope because he probably will batter him in Rogue One. Darth Vader.
I'd still say Darth Vader. He had the strongest force power, didn't he? Even over Yoda. Like, he got trained. He knew the ropes. Like, apparently the dark side makes you stronger, but obviously that never works out. But I'd say Darth Vader.
I would say Darth Vader as well. I think there's a way more power. Like I said, that main character power as well in there as well. You got to have that in there as well. Definitely, Darth Vader with that power, strength. Even old Darth Vader, like, had a few moves in the New Hope sort of thing, and he beat Luke Skywalker very early on as well in I think it was Empire Strikes Back. He got him in that one, didn't he?
Yeah, it was.
So he's got a thing of, and Mace Windu would have been old by then as well, probably lost an arm as well, so less powerful. So I do believe Vader would win. Next up, Vader versus Kylo Ren. I'll say this one, and we've seen it on YouTube actually. Good little fan made film. I'll put it in the link in the description actually. Just amazing. Like, you won't even think it's fan made, but yeah, I got Kylo Ren in this one. He's very athletic. We've seen Vader struggle with people who are athletic. Luke Skywalker, even Obi-Wan against Anakin. Obi-Wan, who are very athletic. Kylo Ren, very powerful, very athletic. But this is the Kylo Ren in Return of Rise of Skywalker. That Kylo Ren. I feel like Rise of Skywalker, Kylo Ren versus Rogue One Vader. I've got Kylo Ren. I think Kylo Ren was the athletic power. He's got the skills of Han Solo on in the air with the guns, and then he's got the lightsaber skills as well. Trained by Snoke as well. Probably trained by the same guy because obviously the Emperor made Snoke, so they were trained by the same guy as well.
We don't know about Snoke, like nothing.
We know the Emperor made him, didn't we? Well, it was pretty shit the way he did it, but
meant to be right overpowered, but we don't know that. We've never seen him. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, but I would say Kylo Ren because he's athletic. I think he would get battered for a lot of it. Vader would choke him up quite a bit, but I think Kylo Ren would sneakily get him with a win. What about you?
Darth Vader for me. If we're talking about Rogue One, Darth Vader, that's one of my favorite movie scenes of all time. It's only like a minute long, but Vader just swinging his lightsaber around, blocks, chokes everyone. He took out the ship. Like, that was insane. And I know it's Darth Vader, but if we're talking Anakin off Return of the Sith, is it?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. That Anakin is overpowered. Like, I know he lost Obi, but that was his bad judgment. If he didn't go for the high ground. Obviously, he probably would have won.
That's a tough one actually, because everyone trained and he knows all his moves, so
Yeah,
that would be a tough one. But yeah, I would probably say Kylo Ren. You got Vader. It's a tough one though. It's a good matchup. We'd love to see that in a sort of a fan-made film. It's a good one. Next one, Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith versus Darth Maul. Fire away, Joey.
That's a tough one. Like, Anakin obviously lost to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan obviously beat Darth Maul, but that didn't always work out like that. Darth Maul's overpowered. You just didn't get to. He's obviously in Star Wars Rebels a lot, and you get to see him. He's so strong, and Anakin's even stronger in Rebels. So that's a tough one, but I'd probably go for Anakin again, just for how good he was and how overpowered, especially when he turns to the dark side, like when he kills everyone. Like that Anakin's, I think he'd win.
Yeah, I would agree. I think he's got obviously the Jedi powers as well, as well as the dark powers, which I think is just overpowered having them two powers, man. Like unreal.
And obviously, don't forget, like he had the strongest force power what had been known to man. So like he is OP. He definitely.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? I forgot about that. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's got the most strongest thing.
For sure. The last one, it's a fun one. You liked actually when I said it to you, Joe. The Mandalorian versus Han Solo in the air.
You see, I haven't seen the Mandalorian, but my brother's told me he's good. But Han Solo, obviously, he's an insane shooter. But if you said Mandalorian and Boba Fett, that would have been cool, because that would have been a tough one. I'd probably go for Boba Fett just because of I like Fett OG, so it'd be Boba. But let's go Mandalorian because he is trained as a bounty hunter. You know what I mean? Like he's got skills what Han Solo really hasn't. So I'd probably go Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to go Han Solo. I think he's more experienced flying in the air, especially with Chewie. He's got backup. Obviously, Mandalorian's got Baby Yoda or Grotzku, whatever they call it. I'm only 2 episodes in, so I need to catch up on that sort of stuff. But
I need to watch it.
It's a good show, apparently, so I'm looking forward to watching it. But I would say Han Solo, just because he's had more experience in the air. He's got Chewie as well. If it's a badass, if something goes wrong, he can take him out, Chewie himself. So
I thought you meant flying with jetpacks. Yeah, Han Solo definitely winning a spaceship in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. So I've got Han Solo for sure. So yeah, we'll move on to have the exciting news about the Star Wars as well. It came out early last year. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Lucasfilm, President Kathleen Kennedy said it in a release, and she said, based on the phenomenal work developing our character in The Mandalorian, I'm absolutely confident that Deborah is the right director to tell the story. So it's Deborah who writes who directs The Mandalorian, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So they start filming in March 2021. So Obi-Wan Kenobi is obviously the lead story. It's going to be about him after Revenge of the Sith and between Revenge of the Sith and The New Hope. So it's going to be about then. I believe it's going to be about 10 years after, that sort of difference. 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. That's when it's based.
And Anakin's coming back.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen has been announced as Anakin.
That's exciting.
So that's pretty interesting. And apparently there's going to be one more swing at each other before the series ends.
I hope it's as good as. See, I know a lot of people don't like the sequels because it kind of cringy, they were corny, it were poor writing. Well, you've got to admit the lightsaber fights are the best in the entire Star Wars franchise. The Disney ones are awful. Rey and Kylo Ren just swing at each other while you've got Obi-Wan and Anakin doing all these fancy shit and that. But like Disney's were just swinging at each other. You know, the best lightsaber fight on a Disney Star Wars movie with Rogue One, where Darth Vader swings thing. For me, that's the best lightsaber fight.
For sure. Yeah, it wasn't in the fight. Like, it's an interesting one because where do you think that could come into play where they swing at each other? I don't think it's going to be as obvious as everyone thinks of just Vader and them two going at it. I think it's an interesting theory. You can find me yours in a minute, but I think that Obi-Wan will be on a mission, a sort of secret mission, but he'll be dressed up as something else. He'll be dressed up as something else, and he'll encounter Vader, but Vader's not going to. I don't think Vader will sense him. And I think they'll have a swing at each other that sort of way.
What I was thinking is that, I don't know, because with him coming back, like, he's just going to be in the Darth Vader costume, so it's not even like you're going to see him. So maybe they're going to kind of go away from Revenge of the Sith and leave it a bit. I don't know if this had happened, but leave it a bit after, you know what I mean? So he doesn't get in the costume yet. because I feel like if they do bring him, well, they are bringing him back. Like, he's not even going to speak as Vader because they've got a voice actor for Vader, aren't they? So it'd just be him in a costume. So maybe it'd be before he turns Anakin, they have a scrap again. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting one, but it wasn't mentioned in like any of the prequels. I would think that you'll see, because in Rogue One you see him in his pod at certain points, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
And same
yeah.
as the old films. I think you'll see Anakin in his pod. And I think that he'll be able to talk when he's in his pod. So you'll see a few scenes, and I think interesting theory here. You know how Rey and Kylo Ren kept seeing each other in like I don't know what it was, like vision or something like that.
Yeah, Luke and Vader see each other. The false dreams.
Yeah, I think that Obi-Wan and Vader will see each other a couple of times in it, and they'll speak. I think that's an interesting theory to go down, that sort of angle. But when he's in his pod,
that's a good theory, to be fair.
Like, I do think that Anakin will take his mask off once or twice, and you'll see him battling him. Has it been confirmed that he needs the mask to breathe? Like, does he need the mask to breathe?
Yeah, his body like thingy, weren't it? His body gone. I don't think he can survive without the breathing mechanisms. I don't think he can at all.
I don't think you'll see him out of character swinging at Obi-Wan.
That's what I mean.
That could be, unless he has a different mask. It's interesting how they can do it. Like, there's a lot of angles to that. I pray to God they don't mess it up. I pray to God they don't mess it up.
If it's the same as The Mandalorian, and I've heard The Mandalorian's good, I don't think they will. I think we've got hope that they're going to do well.
Like, I think you'll see some flashbacks, some unseen conversations from the prequels for sure. That'll definitely happen. But you definitely will see Hayden Christensen in the Vader costume in a pod, talking in a pod to Obi-Wan, one of those Force streams, I believe.
In the Force streams.
I think that's the way to go down with it if you're going to do them two phases. But the way they say they're going to have another swing at each other, the rematch of the century. So that's why I don't think it will be a prequel fight, because it says the rematch.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well.
And the thing is, there was never any mention in The New Hope when they last saw each other, wasn't it? He just said, I've not sensed this feeling for a very long time. And I think this show will be based about 10, 15 years before The New Hope anyway. So that is a pretty long time in essence. So
it'll be just before Rogue One, won't it? Like, it will just be before Rogue One, which is set just before New Hope.
Yeah, before Rogue One. So I think you'll see quite an athletic Vader, actually. Quite an athletic Vader.
Yeah. If it's the Vader from Rogue One, I'm excited to see that.
Mate, imagine they just start going at
Vader.
it. Like, if they went at it, mate, I'd be absolutely buzzing. Like, you couldn't even see, Obi-Wan keeps dreaming, and you can hear, Vader talking to him in a Force dream.
Yeah.
There's so many. I'm excited for it. Like, I can't wait another fucking year.
I would be. It is exciting. I love Star Wars, but I'm excited for that. If that is the case, if it is a Vader who's overpowered from a Rogue One, oh my God.
Like, I hope they go down this scene of I hope we get an Obi-Wan kid, where we find out that he's got a kid. I hope we get something like that.
Everyone thought Rey were his grandkid.
I don't think so.
So that didn't happen. But
would have been better than Palpatine.
That would the biggest fee with that, though.
Would have been better than Palpatine, I believe.
100%.
Like, Palpatine
that was just rushed. I hate that film. I actually hate that film.
Yeah.
Worst Star Wars I've seen.
Like, Palpatine wasn't meant to be in it. It was still the best thing in it, apart from Kylo Ren.
He actually was as well. Remember that off topic, but remember that kid from the film who uses the Force, doesn't even know how to use it, don't know about it, and he pulls a broom by using the Force, and he's had no training. Where did that come from?
What was that in? Rise of Skywalker?
The second one, I think. The second one.
Oh, Last Jedi.
It's at the end, and there's a little kid, and they meet him on the island, this world, and at the end, he pulls the brush towards him, and you're like, all right. So apparently, it used to take him years to master the Force, and this kid can do it without any training.
See, that's what annoys me. Like, I don't want to get into the sequel trilogies, because they were just horrendous. Like when I watched them at the cinema, they wasn't as bad. But when I've rewatched them since, mate, and even the actors hate them. Like, even they are
bad.
Like, even the actors don't like them. But that's some very exciting news coming out of 2022 that Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
And just a quick one: EA don't have the exclusive rights to do Star Wars games, so we're getting an open world Star Wars game next year, maybe. Which That is interesting.
That is tasty. That is very tasty. That Battlefront's
That
okay. We
is-
play it a little bit.
that
It's
is-
okay, but it could do with some upgrades for sure.
Yeah,
So it'd be interesting to see how they work with Star Wars. But
definitely. Some heroes.
I like this route. I don't know about you. I like this route with Disney Plus of going down sequels and just exploring different characters, spin-offs, as long as it's done right.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're
They
sort
do
of.
with Marvel, don't they? They've done Marvel.
Oh yeah, well, like Ant-Man and that.
Yeah, WandaVision. You've got Winter Soldier and Falcon, Captain America and Winter Soldier. What other big one have they got coming? She-Hulk.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
coming. Like they've got a lot of Marvel ones. Yeah.
Jeez, let's have a look at that. But yeah, some great news coming out of Star Wars, Joe, for sure, mate. Like I'm looking forward to that. He's my favorite Jedi, like I say, like so. Be interested to see like how that battle works between them two. But I think it'll be. I don't think they'll know he's fighting. I don't think he'll know he's fighting Obi-Wan till after. As he's happening, I think of it as well. Why is this guy so good at lightsaber? And then he'll sort of sense him, and then he'll see him, and like then Obi-Wan will be gone. So it's an interesting feel. That I could never be a writer. It's too stressful. It's too stressful. What these writers go through, mate. It must be torrid. That must be torrid. That's why I'm cutting.
They don't get enough credit.
Yeah, I can cut a little bit of slack for the Disney Star Wars because it's a very hard task to follow. Like the Force Awakens was really good, but it's a very hard task to follow that second one.
But I feel like the prequels were everyone took piss out of them, but since the Disney ones have come out, the prequels have been much more appreciated.
Oh yeah.
But I think mainly because the music in the prequels were beautiful and the fight scenes were beautiful. Like, but Disney's music wasn't there for me, and the lightsaber fights, I've said, the worst I've seen. 100%.
Oh mate,
the fan
easily.
Miles better.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. I enjoyed I've always said I enjoyed the prequels. I thought it was really good. I think Clone Wars I liked a little bit.
Revenge of the Sith has always been my favorite. One of my favorite Star Wars films.
Like a lot of people are saying, like we wish George Lucas now written those sequel trilogies because he didn't write them, did he? He gave them to Disney. Lucasfilms, George Lucas, who wrote all the other stuff, and he was getting all the shit.
George Lucas, he's not bothered.
Yeah, he was getting all the shit for it, and that's why I'm scared at Disney then. But everyone regrets it now. So like, we want George Lucas back. He's part of the Mandalorian, actually. You know, he's involved. He's involved with the Mandalorian. Yeah, with the creative project, the creative process.
You see, like, I know he made Star Wars. He didn't have to do again. He made Indiana Jones as well. Don't forget, like, he didn't have to do anymore. Like, he's made
Jesus.
Yeah, he made Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Damn, that was
all of them. Well, obviously the originals.
So was that before Star Wars and he made that, or after?
After, I think after Star Wars, he made them. And did you know this about Harry, that he were a carpenter on the set of Star Wars, and George Lucas saw him and said, "Do you want to try for Han Solo?"
Jeez, I didn't know that. Fucking hell. Damn.
That's true. That yeah.
Impressive. Fucking hell. I didn't know that. I heard that Han, when he seen him, he knew that was the guy he wanted. He could just picture him with Han Solo.
Yeah.
Perfect guy. Because he's basically his Han Solo in real life, like the closest he is to his character, basically. So that was interesting.
His personality.
It's a shame because a lot of them were old characters. Those OGs are really dying now, aren't they? A lot of that. Chewbacca died recently, didn't he?
Yeah, right. There's only Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford left. That's it.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, damn. Like Carrie Fisher obviously passed away 4 years ago, so that's very sad. But yeah,
4 years now.
Yeah, 2016. I couldn't believe it, mate. It feels like yesterday she died.
It does. I thought it were only 2 years.
Yeah,
you know.
It's a couple of weeks after she released a book about she slept with Harrison Ford for like a month. They had this massive affair going on for like a month. And it was Harrison Ford's never really come out and addressed it. He's always said I don't really want to talk about it, but it'd be interesting to find out his take on that.
One lucky man, though, should be saying.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to find out his thoughts on that. I don't think you ever will. I think if he writes a book, you might.
Nah.
But you'll never find out that. It's it. But like I say, to be fair, when you look at it now, you look at the behind the scenes, you can see that chemistry was there between them. So it doesn't surprise me. You look at the behind the scenes for sure.
But, and they were together in the films, obviously. Yeah,
well, that dimension comes in as well, doesn't it? When you're together in a film, like a lot of people have been together and like worked in romance films, end up dating in real life. It's like Vince Vaughn and
exactly.
Is it Nicole Aniston? Yeah, Nicole.
Yeah.
Nicole Aniston. And is it Aniston or Aniston? So. Nicole
Aniston.
No, Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston.
Oh yeah. I was about to say Jennifer.
Which
When they
one's
were
from
on that
Friends?
film,
Which one's from Friends?
Jennifer Anderson.
Jennifer Aniston from Friends, yeah. So
Them two dated.
they dated for a little bit, yeah, not that while. But that's what I mean. When you do like these romances, because you're doing this, you date for. I think a lot of them do date for a little bit, don't they? So it doesn't surprise me actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was surprising. But yeah, moving on from that, just finally, because but yeah, we've covered a lot of ground already, Joe. A lot of topics to discuss for the next one for sure.
I know. Again,
but Man United, mate. Man United, they've been flying under the radar.
The topic I've been waiting for.
And just like old times, we're top of the league, son.
7 long years I've waited for this moment. Oh my God, to see Manchester United performing the way they are, back at the top of the league. Their old rivals, Liverpool, they're chasing them. Oh, this is exciting. Definitely exciting for me.
You're like, they've been flying under the radar big time, because I remember like not long back, like everyone was saying like Ollie's out, he hasn't got long left. He's gonna get sacked, he's got one more game to win, he's gone. Really?
Yeah, I think in December. Yeah, I would say. I think November, they were doing crap at home. Like they didn't barely win a game. They didn't score at home. I was like, oh, get Ollie out. He's crap. Get him out. But you see, like obviously I've changed my tune now. But like Pogba's turned up. I'm surprised at Pogba. Like when Bruno isn't performing at what he does, like he didn't against Burnley, Pogba stepped up. He was first in everything: passing, dribbling, aerial challenges. He was first on the team. Like you need them players to step up. You've got like, I don't know. I'm just excited. Like it's just good to see Man U and Liverpool back where they should be. Like maybe we won't stay there, but we may as well celebrate for the time being. I mean, and Super Sunday, literally 2 days.
I mean, I got excited when I found out. Like, I'm not even following results. I'm a Man United fan, but I'm not going to be claiming I'm a massive fan. I follow. I don't. But I look out for how they're doing. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
But I chested my blood and blue and white sort of blood in me sort of thing. But I do follow them.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Just see how they do it every now and then. But when I think I was buzzing, man, I was like, Jesus Christ! Like, I didn't expect that. Like, if any, wouldn't it be crazy after all the appointments? Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, David Moyes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wins the league.
Isn't it? Ole.
Like they haven't looked great, but they've been really scraping out wins like big time. They've been fighting, gritting
now
for wins.
Now they look good. Like I said, a few months ago, a few weeks, they looked awful. But now they're looking good. Like the football are enjoyable. They're playing counter-attacking football. Rashford's on form. Obviously Cavani's good. Bruno. I don't want to say he's the best midfielder in the Prem because I think a lot of people find that controversial. Well, let's be honest.
He is. He's the best player in the Prem. We're saying it right here.
But yeah, best player in Prem. You've got McTominay, who's insane. Fred good on defensive. Bailly, he's always been a good player, but he's got injured and he just chucks himself in front of everything. Like literally, just chucks himself in front of out. Wan-Bissaka, obviously, you know what he's about. Tellez is a good addition. Like I'm excited. Like it's exciting to see Man U back where they should be.
I think it's literally now. I think it is Man U, Liverpool, Everton, and Man City. What a four, mate! What a four! Like the thing about this, Merseyside and Manchester are going head to head for the first time in years for the title. I'm absolutely buzzing.
If they're the top four for the Champions League, it is. The Prem this season is fun to watch. I've got to admit, like Man City started off really slow, but all of a sudden they've popped up, and now the Man City, what everyone knows, fast-paced football, enjoyable to watch. Even though I'm a massive Man U fan, Man City have been enjoyable to watch for years, and they've picked that back up. Obviously, Everton, as soon as they got Ancelotti, you knew, didn't you? Like, come on, work his magic. If they gave him the money and he brought in Allen, he brought in Decore, he brought in. No, he's made Richarlison good. Sorry, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's one of the best players in Prem at the moment. Strikers. He's got like 10 goals. But Tottenham, I think you can't leave them out the syndicate just yet.
What happened to Tottenham? Because he was on fire, wasn't they? What happened to him?
Yeah, they were second and like fifth or something. They've had a bad strain of results, but I think they won last night again. And Harry Kane and Son are obviously such a deadly duo. So enjoyable to watch as well. Tottenham are. As a team, Harry Kane, deadly. Absolutely lethal.
I'm glad to see Mourinho, because if you've seen any all or nothing like clips of him talking to this team, but he does look rejuvenated. Like I remember seeing him at Man United. I think he just looked so grumpy. And he just looked so like bored.
He did.
And he just didn't look like the Mourinho we know, and it was upsetting to see that as a
Cocky
Mourinho fan.
Mourinho.
Like, he's a special one. He is the special one. That's why they call him that. And at Man United, he just thought he
Gave
was
himself that
bored.
name.
He was bored. He was like just had no energy for it really. And I was like, shit, that's just horrible to see. And when he went, I was glad him gone because he just didn't deserve that. Like, and he seems like a really nice guy. Like, he's a really good guy.
Yeah, he's a good manager.
And at Tottenham now, he looks rejuvenated. Like, he looks really happy. You can see some all or nothing clips. Amazing.
His Instagram speaks for itself. I know you've said that, man, but his Instagram speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's not him. It's definitely not him. It's definitely a social media manager that's working it for him. But it's just good to see him back happy, managing football. I've not seen him like proper like moany, like the old Mourinho Man United, like for ages now. I've seen him happy, backing his players at Tottenham, really like, getting behind the team. His cocky self, the old one, the special one, back. That's what I want to see. Mourinho, mate, we're in for a top year this year. Like Chelsea, they'll be back and win the mix. Trust me.
It's exciting.
Arsenal are creeping up. Like,
I think Chelsea are.
Arsenal are creeping up. Like, they're slowly creeping up. Arsenal are creeping up still. They always manage to get in and behind it. I'll tell you now.
I know it did. They beat Man U.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're slowly creeping up, mate. It's going to be an interesting one. My money's still on Man City. I said from the start, Man City will win. I just feel like they're that team that they lose and they get battered around and they still fight. And I just don't like Man City because of that. I just don't like them. Like, as a Man United fan, I just don't like them. Like, I still like work from the stuff like that. Like, I don't mind the club or anything. I don't like Man City, how good they are. It annoys me how good they are. It does my head in. Even when they don't win the league, they still look amazing. And it's like, please stop.
Enjoyable, yeah. Such an enjoyable team to watch. Like, obviously, Liverpool, I don't really want to say I enjoy watching them, but they're enjoyable. Like, Man City and Liverpool are so... I used to love... Well, they probably will. Last season, I used to love watching Liverpool versus Man City because what a game that is. Always high scoring. Yeah. It's just such a good to watch. Like, now Manchester United back up. They're coming from... We're winning. I'm going to call it on this podcast. We are winning the league. I mean, that's all I'll say.
I'm one of them. I'd rather Liverpool win than City. Does that sound controversial?
No.
I would rather Liverpool win it than City because I just don't like.
I don't want any of them to win it.
I don't want City to win it again. Like, they're winning it too many times and it's doing my head in, man. Please stop winning it. Let someone else win it, please. But it's like, I'd rather Liverpool win it again because it's like they're not winning it for 13 years. It's not a massive deal. Like, a couple of times is like it's okay from the fans. Like, some of the fans have been real that they deserve it. Those loyal fans have stuck by them, gritted by them.
100%. Like, yeah, I agree with that.
When people shit on teams, they forget. Like, Man City got those gritty fans. I'm happy they've got all them titles because they was there when the club was like mid-table team, and them sort of fans deserve it, man. They deserve all that love.
The Gallaghers,
for sure. Like,
massive fans, aren't they? The Gallaghers.
Yeah, huge, mate, huge.
They're OGs.
That's why I'll never come and say I hate this club. I hate this because every club, like, you got to think they're in their shoes. Like, they've got fans as well who go back, who ride or die for them, home and away. They're following the same journey you are, just to support a different team. That's what I'm saying. So I'm never massively hate a team when they win the league. Sometimes I just I look at it as a neutral. I'd rather see a different team win it than every team every year. Like Man City, like at one point they were just winning the league every year, weren't they? Or every other year. Yeah, I
think they won it back to back. Like, you look at our league, and it's definitely the most versatile. We've had Leicester win, we've had Chelsea, this decade, last decade, we had Chelsea, Man U win, we had, Man City, Liverpool, Leicester. Like, the top 10s are always constantly changing. Wolves are always up there, Everton are. Obviously, Arsenal used to be contenders. Like, I know for me, like, these past 7 years has been pain, just pain.
Yeah,
that's all I can say is pain. Especially in the Prem, it's been pain. Champions League, pain.
Yeah, everywhere we've been, mate, it's been pain. It's been a tough one. We've won a couple of trophies. I mean, I like Ollie. I hope he doesn't get that. I give him time, man, because he's a good character. Like, he really does give a brightness to the place. Like, I know even when things like that, he's a good character. And, like, I just don't. And you can see he really loves Man United. He really wants to turn this around. Like, he's got a love for the club. You can see, and it's evident in the way his team plays.
He's a legend, isn't he?
Like, and his team does play for him. Like, sometimes they just have not been good enough, and it's simple as that. They've been outplayed.
Yeah.
And sometimes teams have not played for him, and it's simple as that. Sometimes his team has not played for him.
Totally
That's
agree.
A simple thing. So,
because you could say some players for Mourinho definitely didn't play for him. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, like, it seems for Ole every time he's like jobs on the line, they end up winning by like 4-1 or something. Like Bruno changed the entire how that team's run. Man U were okay, but now Man U, Bruno it's his mentality, it's his win, it's his effort. Every time he loses the ball, he'll go and chase the ball. He'll tell someone to go and chase it. He barks at you all the time. For me, Maguire's an okay captain, but Bruno should be the captain for me.
Yeah, well, I don't know too much about it, but I like Maguire. But yeah, if you think Bruno's the captain, mate, then I agree. So I'm not seeing too much, like I say, but it's an interesting one. So we'll see. But
yeah,
finally, we'll do predictions now for the season. We've not done them before, so we might as well do it. Give it a go. Since the table's quite close, constantly compacted, it's hard to pick who's going to win it at the minute. So it was your top four, and it's 4 teams. It's 3 teams that go down. Or was it 2?
Yeah.
Was it 4? How many teams go down? 3. So it's 3 teams that go down. So pick your 3 that go down, and the 4 to the 4 in the top 4.
Right. For Matt's 3 to go down. I've got to say Sheffield United, like 5 points. Come on, it's tough. West Brom and probably Fulham. I think that them 3 off the bat. Top 4 is going to be tough, but I've got to go for. I think you said Man City, Liverpool, of course, M2, Manchester United to win the league, 100% for me, and I think Tottenham are just going to overtake Everton. I think Everton are going a bad run, and Tottenham will just overtake them.
So you've got Man United to win the league. Just run through that again quickly. Top 4.
So Man U, I think I'm going to go Man U, Man City, and Liverpool and Tottenham are 4th.
Man City, Liverpool.
What are you saying for yours?
I would say Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal. I think Man United will slip off. I think they'll slip off. It's a tough one. I think they'll slip off. Remember the name. Remember when I get this right. Remember.
Yeah, I'll have to come back to this.
But if I get it wrong, you can slightly throw me. Well, Arsenal top 4 is a bit controversial, but we'll see.
I will.
I've seen the game of the day. And
Arsenal managed. If Arsenal take over Man U, I don't know what that's pain.
Yeah,
I'll just have to say.
that would do me in, to be fair. Like, my granddad's an Arsenal fan, I would never hear the end of it, mate. Never hear the end of it ever. Where did Man United finish? She said that's what they say. Well, I don't know, Granddad. Well, I don't think they made Champions League, did they? I don't know. I do know.
We've come from 15th and overtook Man U. We didn't come close to winning Premier League, but we overtook Man U, so that's all I'm bothered about.
That's what makes me laugh. Like, Arsenal got such an agenda with Man United. Like, my granddad hates Man United. He's like, yeah, anything about Man United players, like, yeah, we hate them. They generally have a hate for Man U. Like, it's as strong as Man City versus Man United, isn't it? Arsenal versus Man U. It's a strong rivalry.
Because Arsenal back in 2000s were one of the best teams in probably one of the best teams in Prem history, weren't they? With Thierry Henry on that.
Yeah.
And then you had Man U with Rudy, Ronaldo, Giggs, like them teams, and then you had Chelsea. You had like them teams were entertaining to watch. So that's why I think it goes so far back and carries on.
Yeah, some of the classes over the years are amazing, mate. But bottom 3, I've got. You'll be surprised by this as well. I've got the league up here, so I'm not too sure on the league. I've got Leeds to go down, West Brom, and Sheffield United. I think Sheffield United will fight back. I do think that. I think they'll kick on for a little bit now, but I think they will start losing games again because they just haven't got enough. They haven't got enough depth. They haven't got enough depth in the squad for sure. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting season. It's been a good season so far. Like, it's been a very competitive season, enjoyable for sure. There's been a lot of twists and turns. It's not one team dominating, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out. But we'll be here to discuss it every week. And finally, Joe, we got Jonathan Noel interview coming out tomorrow as well. People haven't seen it. Yeah, there's a bit of a rundown on that. People didn't see the last episode.
Very exciting. It is a basketball guard from Boston College. He's such a nice guy to do this. Very nice to talk to. And it was just an enjoyable experience. He gave me good answers. Like, he talks about how different sport is in America to the UK, how he prepares for the draft if that ever happens, and what team he'd like to get prepared for the draft. Like, very enjoyable interview.
Definitely a great interview to hear, and don't miss it if you're a basketball fan or if you're an American fan, because it's an interesting interview about America as well itself. Yeah. And as well, I am arranging more interviews as well for Joe for the basketball show, so there'll be more basketball interviews coming in the following weeks as well with a player from
Exciting
Hartford
content.
University at the minute I'm working on, so look out for that. And also as well, next podcast, I'll just give a rundown of what we're talking about. Logan Paul, he's getting involved in all this Jake Paul stuff. Feel bad for him. We're going to be going through dream interviews, dream jobs. We're going to be going through all that. Lockdown like asleep. We're going to talk about that. That's an interesting theory. And this Cobra Kai theory I was sent on YouTube, which is very in-depth and probably will take us another 40 minutes to discuss, so we'll not get into it today. So, and there'll definitely be more things we'll talk about as well, the Premier League and stuff. There'll be an NBA, there'll be plenty of things to come out next week, so look out for that. Anyway, this has been Back with a Bang, episode 9. I'm your host, Charlie Bolden. This is Joe McGlade. Thank you for your time, Joe, again. It's been enjoyable.
Thank you. No worries.